Well, let's just dive right into it. We are going to be talking about the cult classic. Can you consider it a cult classic?
I don't know if you can. It's just a campy 80s B movie that a lot of people that like these kind of movies, they enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that cult?
Yeah, I would say so. Not a big hit, but it's popular. I guess that's the definition. I don't know anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
It's hard to say, but
it is.
You could call it that.
It is. But it's...
Have you ever... Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we're talking about Chopping Mall this time. This has actually been something it's been on our list for a while now.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. I've always liked it. And I need to stop watching these sober, like I always say. But yeah. This was on the short list.
Mm-hmm. It was. And this movie, I don't know if you were aware of this, but it was originally released under the title Killbots.
Mm-hmm. They decided there was a couple different names, and I think it was named different things in different countries. Obviously, like that's common. Mm-hmm. But I think they thought that maybe it was sounding too much like some kind of like robotic transformer type deal.
Maybe.
So they decided to go with something. Something different.
It's no death at 33 RPM, but
no, that's the best.
It's the best one. It is.
Yeah.
But this film was released in 1986. It's a science fiction comedy horror film, which that's what it's defined as, but I don't really agree with that. It's not very funny.
I mean, it's kind of apt.
It's funny without trying to be. I don't think the humor was intentional.
No, I don't think so.
Not at all. But it was directed by Jim Wynorski, who worked a lot with Roger Corman back in the day, and this movie was actually produced by Roger's wife, Julie Corman, and it shows.
You can tell. There's a lot of references in this movie, and the Corman universe exists here. I'm not a huge fan, but I know a little bit about it. And
you're not a Corman fan?
I could take it or leave it.
Schlocky B movies, though, that's your thing.
Mostly 80s slasher horror.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, not so much the old dumb Corman horror movies, not so much. But
you're not looking to watch Carnosaur?
No, but I know all about them. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a famous one.
Yeah.
This was at Sherman Oaks in Los Angeles. I think they filmed Fast Times.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Commando.
Commando with Arnold. Yeah.
Yep.
So the only reason I think they were allowed to do this movie there, because those movies are so much better. I think that the guy was a fan of Corman that owned the whole property.
Yeah, and I think he also knew him too. He may have known the owner. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jim Wynorski is definitely a student of the Roger Corman filmmaking. A lot
of softcore porn, I think he did.
I was going to say, he went on to make such blockbuster hits as Cheerleader Massacre, The Witches of Breastwick.
Oh, God. Is it the Bear Winch or the Bear Winch?
I don't know. I just know What's Her Nuts is in it. Stormy Daniels. Yeah.
Stormy.
Yep.
And I do believe that, the Bear Wench project was made by him, too.
Probably. The Hills Have Thighs.
Yeah,
was also made by him, and then Scared Topless. I just found random. He also made shit like Sharktopus, crap like that. Yeah. So
what a great guy.
He's a schlock. He's a schlock making machine.
Schlock making machine, indeed. Have you ever worked at a mall?
Yes, I did actually. Mm-hmm.
Well, do tell, if you will, if you don't mind saying. You don't have to say where or whatever, but like, what did you do at a mall when you worked there? How old were you?
Well, so when I was working part-time in radio before I got hired on full-time, I did a little side gig as I worked at Kitchen Saver / Bath, whatever, renovators.
Like not Bed Bath and Beyond, but like a Bath and Body or what?
No, it's like a Kitchen Saver. They renovate your kitchen. The Bath version, they renovate obviously your bathtub with like some state-of-the-art resin cover that they could put on. It doesn't leak. It doesn't crack. Nothing like, it doesn't do any of that stuff.
It was like a practical. It wasn't like a big like retail operation.
No,
it was
no. You would have a kiosk in certain places. Like I would go to a lot of like local fairs and just stand in the barn and wait for people to sign up for free estimates and shit. It was awful, dude.
Oh God,
it sucked, and it was a do nothing job because nobody ever wanted to sign up.
No, yeah.
So I would just go shopping at the mall, when I was supposed to be working, or if I was at a fair, I'd go get some fair food and just do whatever. So yeah, no, it sucked, man. It was awful, but I did it at the Tuttle Mall. That was like my home base.
Got it.
And yeah, man, you can really see the decline of the mall because nobody ever goes anymore.
It's bad. Yeah. I worked at a Best Buy for a summer selling TVs that was connected to a mall, but there was no mall entrance to the mall, or there was no entrance to the mall from the Best Buy. So it was a standalone Best Buy that was connected to a mall that you could not, you know what I mean? Like a lot of stores in the mall, you can go to the mall from the store.
Yeah.
There was no entrance to the mall from the store. So does it count as me working at a mall? I'll say no. I worked at a Best Buy that was connected to a mall, but I did not work ever at a mall. And watching this movie, I'm kind of jealous because I wanted to be, at that point in my life, I would have loved to go to a sex party in a mall.
I was going to say, you didn't get hammered with your coworkers and just start fucking everywhere?
Not at the Best Buy. No, I did maybe have a relation with a person that worked there, a nice girl, but
that doesn't count.
No, it does not count.
That doesn't count.
And by the way, this mall has a locker room that girls get naked in.
I know.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
That made me laugh. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, we'll get there. But like, just speaking of malls, pretty goddamn stupid, but
pretty goddamn boring. It maybe back in the 80s when people went to the mall all the time, you kept busy enough to pass the time away. But nowadays, like I did the kitchen saver thing like, I don't know, this was like 5 years ago. So people stopped going to the mall long before then. So when I worked there, it was a lot of just standing around doing nothing. It was awful.
Yeah, you weren't there during the hustle and bustle.
No.
Even the 90s, the mall was a thing.
Yeah.
Like when Amazon wasn't a thing yet. So.
No. Not like when you and I were kids. Going to the mall was a big deal.
Big deal. It was a big thing to do on a Saturday. If the weather was bad, have a parent drop you off at the mall. You'd cash in a bunch of dollar bills for quarters.
Play the arcade.
Go to the arcade. Yep. Go get the pizza by the slice place.
Yep.
If you were so inclined to go see a movie, go
for
see
$2.
For $2, go see Dumb and Dumber.
Yep.
I'm just naming an example of stuff that I did.
Yep.
Go see Dumb and Dumber, go to the arcade, go eat pizza, go look at the girls that were from the different schools that were hanging around. Oh, dude, it was great. Go look at the rap section at your CD store. This was back when like MTV was showing nothing but like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg videos.
Exactly.
So my buddies and I would go into like the record town at my local mall, and we would look at like all the crazy rap video or rap CDs and whatnot. And usually you had to be 18 to buy them. But
Kevin Smith made a whole movie about the mall culture.
Had it that he did. Yeah. That's a good one of his better movies.
One of his better movies. Yeah. So yeah, being at the mall was a big deal at the time. That's something that's definitely lost forever. But,
yes.
And does this movie capture the magic of it? Parts of it does. Not all of it.
Parts of it, yeah.
Little parts of it does, but not the whole thing.
I mean, but you and I were infants when this movie was like in the 80s. Like the 80s mall madness was a real deal. And in the 90s, it was still a thing when we experienced it. But like in the 80s, it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
So we didn't experience that. We were too young.
And Jim Wynorski was just the man to helm that experience. Apparently, Wynorski wrote the script with Steve Mitchell in 24 hours and sent it in to Julie Corman with only an additional 4 to 5 weeks to write the entire script. That's not a lot of time.
No. It shows.
It's not a lot. Yeah, it does. But apparently Roger Corman was nothing but supportive from the get-go, according to him, and he loved the whole idea, which of course he did.
Of course, why not?
Yeah. And then he went on to say that this movie was inspired by the 1954 film Gog, which I guess also has a killer robot in it. I've never seen it, never heard of it until today. Yeah, and then filming took only 20 days at the Galleria, 2 days at Corman Studios.
And I think that they did the shooting at the mall. They didn't get a lot of time with that.
No. They, from what I understand, they had to hustle and get that thing shot quickly.
Yeah, so. Like the guy who owned the place, I think, was really all into like the movies that were already shot there were fine, but like this was like you guys got like a couple days, a couple nights.
This
like,
is low budget schlock though. This isn't like a Commando where you have an A-lister on board.
Or Fast Times.
Or Fast Times, yeah. This is like, hey, we're gonna make a movie about killer robots. How much time can we get? And it's kind of like the situation with Dawn of the Dead.
Sure, yeah, the mall there, yeah.
Yeah, Romero knew the owner of the mall, and they could only shoot at night, obviously, when there were no people there. And they only had like a certain amount of days to get in and just get it filmed and leave. So
have a nice day.
Exactly.
Have a nice day.
All right, Wes, what's your history with Chopping Mall?
I'd never heard of this movie. I used to listen to a popular podcast called How Did This Get Made with Jason Mantzoukas and Paul Scheer, comedians. Yeah. Guys from the League, and I love the League, and they had a podcast where they still do, and they make fun of movies. Now the podcast has gone downhill. I don't listen to it anymore, but when I was big into this movie, or let me rephrase that, when I was big into that podcast, one of the movies that they did, I think they always do like a horror movie around like October, and like maybe like in 2012 or 13 or 14, back in the day, man, they did this. And this was before I was really into 80s schlocky horror. I was aware of a lot of the movies, but I didn't really like them like I do now. I've evolved my taste into liking these dumb movies. But so this movie was introduced to me by How Did This Get Made podcast, and I watched it, and I thought it was funny. And then, later on, I've seen it like maybe 3 or 4 times since then. I've watched this with people like drinking beer and stuff like that, which is why that's the way you want to do it. I watched this sober today. Famous words from me. Watch it with a couple of buddies drinking beer. But we'll save that for the end. But yes, my history is just, podcast introduced me. I watched it. Yeah, I was stupid, funny. I liked it a lot better a couple of years later, but I don't really have a lot of history with it. That's about it, man. How say you, sir?
The first time I saw it was about right before you and I first met. I think I found, I think it was on a streaming service somewhere, maybe.
It was on Amazon Prime for a long time, and I think it still is.
Yeah, that's where I watched it.
Okay.
Yeah, just out of curiosity because the name sounded so stupid. And I watched it. Yeah. So I watched it. I've watched it, I think maybe one more time since then. So I don't have a huge history with it. I've only seen it a couple of times, but we'll get to my grading of it later on. But
we will. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Happened to stumble across it by accident, basically.
There you go. That's the best way it's the best way to do it. And I also will say that I do think that I remember when I was a young lad and they still had VHS horror movie tapes in the video stores. I remember seeing this one because it's kind of memorable. It has the like the zombie arm
with the head in the bag.
Yeah. So I think I remember seeing it, but I never. My buddies and I, when we were younger, and we would always we would trick our parents into renting us horror movies. This was never one of them. So. But I do remember I think I remember the VHS cover.
All right, well, let's dive right into Chopping Mall. The movie begins, with a robbery. A dirty thief is ripping off some jewelry when he's stopped by what looks like a Terminator. It looks like one of those rolling Terminators that you see in the Kyle Reese flashbacks that are just rolling over all the skulls. That's what they reminded me of this entire time.
Or Johnny Five a little bit, but Johnny Five had more character to his body.
Johnny Five had like eyes and the expressive eyebrows. Yeah.
This is just it almost looks like the you ever seen Rocky 4?
Yes, yeah.
Now they had a lot more personality too.
Paulie's
Happy
robot.
Birthday, Paulie.
Paulie's robot, yeah.
Happy birthday, Paulie.
What the hell is this thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he turned it into a sex bot.
Yeah, right.
So this reminded me of all that kind of stuff. But this came before that. And then, by the way, did this influence RoboCop?
I really hope so.
I hope so too.
I would love that movie even more if it was influenced by Chopping Mall.
We are on record as loving RoboCop.
We are. Yeah.
Paul Verhoeven maybe was influenced by this movie a little bit with just like the mannerisms and the voice and
You
Have a nice
20
day.
seconds to comply.
yeah. I like to think that this had a little part in like making one of the better schlocky 80s crazy movies ever, which is RoboCop, which is an A+ movie. We both agreed. So.
Well, let's just say it did, and then we'll make
let's say it
we'll
did.
make that
Fuck
lore.
it.
Yeah.
We'll create the lore.
Yep. Now, it turns out that this whole scenario is just a movie, a film presentation given by the Park Plaza Mall, who has just installed a state-of-the-art security system that includes shutters across all exits and 3 high-tech robots programmed to disable and apprehend thieves using tasers and tranquilizer guns. Now,
stupid.
Given our entire intro talking about malls, it's really funny to think that a mall would invest this much in its security. Yep. Yeah.
That's what makes it so ridiculous, but it does make it funny for people that are of our age. This is a funny concept.
Yeah. At the very, very most, a mall would have hired like a retired police officer, given him minimum wage just to walk the hallways every couple of hours.
I thought you were going a different direction when you said retired. I thought you were going to say a different word that we can't use anymore.
No.
Because I've seen mall cops that are possibly special needs.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I'm not sure if we can keep that in, but
screw it.
Yeah.
We'll leave it in. Somebody might identify. They might be like, "Hey, that's me."
Oh God.
Sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Have a nice day.
Right. Well, I did want to point this out because one of your favorite actresses is in this whole opening scene with the presentation. We have Mary Warnoff, who
she is not my. Come on, dude.
She's in
a good movie.
You said that you had a deep admiration for this lady.
Yeah, but she's very cool. We've talked about her before. If you're a fan of the original Bizarre Show on YouTube, the actual video show, yes, you would know that I like her in a certain movie, a mumblecore gore movie, and she has a really rich history of being an artist, and she was friends with Lou Reed, and she probably did heroin with the Velvet Underground and all the cool stuff, and she's really in this. His part is so stupid. The two people that are like roasting the robots during the beginning. How stupid is it, Sean?
Would it surprise you to know that both Mary Warnoff and the other actor ad-libbed a bulk of that part?
Yeah, and they were in a movie together from before, a Corman picture, I believe.
Probably,
they were both
Corman,
and they were reviving their characters for this one little opening episode of the movie.
But if you've never seen that movie, you don't know what you don't understand any of it.
And it's bad acting.
It's not good.
And the roasting is not good.
No.
I don't know, Mary. The one in the middle has an unpleasantly ethnic quality.
They look like the Three Stooges.
Yeah, and then he makes a comment about her mother-in-law because of the laser eyes or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like an inside joke between two people that we don't know.
Yeah. From a movie that we've never seen or I've never heard of. I don't know.
A movie that we cannot pinpoint, which we'd have to obviously you could Google it, but yeah,
I'm not a Corman aficionado. I don't know. I don't know enough of his stuff.
Of course you make fun that I like this actress.
No, I don't make fun. I pointed it out because I thought you genuinely enjoyed her work.
I genuinely enjoy her story.
Okay, cool. I'm not making fun of you for it.
Was she a good actress in the movie? I know that you didn't like it, but she was a good actress in the movie.
Yeah, they were all good.
In the movie The House of the Devil. Yeah. She was, yeah.
So after this, we get the opening credits, which is where this movie really shines with recreating the mall experience.
Dude, come on. The montage?
Totally, man. It's the best. I just had pure nostalgia during that whole opening credit scene of just running around the mall, all the different stuff that people were doing, all the different shops, the cafeteria area with all the different foods. Oh, my God, dude. It was the best. I love that.
It was it's probably the best part, and I like the music. I like the montage-ness of it. Mm-hmm. This mall is bigger by story than what we're used to.
Than what we're used to. Yeah, definitely.
We're used to one-story malls. No.
Yeah, in Ohio, where we're from, the malls that we grew up with were one level very small.
Like ranch style malls.
Right. They're ranch style malls. Nowadays, in the areas that we live in, everything has become much, much, much bigger. But
much bigger. Yeah.
Back in the 80s, no, those types of malls did not exist where we live. They do now, but not back then.
Well, they did. Do you remember the movie? Or 5, 4, 3, 2. Do you remember there was a mall called Franklin Park Mall that still exists in Toledo, Ohio?
That's not that's not a huge mall.
2 stories.
Yeah.
There is an escalator there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is Los Angeles, baby.
Yeah,
so,
this is a big ass mall. Yeah.
This is 3 stories, and it's pretty cool. By the way, there was a place called Licorice Pizza, which is a record store.
Oh, really?
I didn't know what that meant. So I didn't know. I thought licorice pizza meant like some kind of weird esoteric thing. Apparently, it's a stoner term for like records.
Sure, makes sense.
I guess it does.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like a licorice pizza.
Yeah, like a spiral of licorice.
Yes, sir.
That plays you music.
It doesn't have to play music. Yeah, it plays music.
Music.
Correct.
We're introduced to a couple of waitresses, Allison Parks and Susie Lynn, played by the great Barbara Crampton. She's back.
Yeah, she's back.
She's back. She's bringing it back.
She's always in these good movies.
Good. Well, yeah. Okay. Good movies. Yeah. Yep. That's what she's.
Oh, by the way, I could have swore that Linnea Quigley was in this movie.
I didn't even know Barbara Crampton was in this movie. I wasn't, the first couple of times I saw it, I wasn't fully aware who Barbara Crampton was, and not until I got older. So it didn't register. It does. Yeah, now I know. No, I'm glad Linnea's not in this movie, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I'm good.
We've done way too many Linnea Quigley movies already.
So many Linnea Quigley movies. I'm good on that.
Yep, we're good.
Yep, and these guys are serving a big old boy who wants more butter. I need more butter. I need more butter.
Imagine playing that part. And then the guy that was
right.
The Italian / Greek. I don't know what the guy's nationality was.
I think he's going for Italian while he's smoking while he's making the food.
Yeah, there's ash everywhere.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Oh, the 80s.
If you worked at a mall, like a shit restaurant and a shit mall, which at the time was popular, but it was shit, you probably had a guy back in the kitchen smoking while the food was being cooked.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Now outside, a lightning storm strikes the mall several times, and it damages the computer controls for protectors 1, 2, and 3.
All 3 of them.
Yep.
All 3 of them. Yeah, for sure. And dude, come on. Like this had the Corman thing runs pretty deep here, because I think that the lightning strike goes back to like the 60s, to where like it will fuck everything up. And I still think that it's a trope that might be sort of used from time to time today.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But I mean, the fact that this is like, I'm assuming like a multi-million-dollar security system that these people have paid for. They did not account for lightning strikes.
Of course not.
I know. I'm thinking too much about Chopping Mall.
No, you're thinking way too much about it.
I know.
No, come on, dude. No, you're thinking the appropriate amount about it, but it doesn't make a goddamn lick of sense.
Yeah. But this causes the protectors to go haywire, and one of the first things that they do is they kill the technician who was looking at porn. Because of course he was. It's the 80s.
It's the 80s. He had a booby magazine.
Everybody's either looking at porn or they're having sex. It's just how the 80s was.
This was during Coke, but pre-AIDS.
Exactly, yeah. Everybody just went hog wild.
Hog wild, for sure.
Next, we meet Fred Measle, Greg Williams, and Mike Brennan. And they are planning a big party at the mall for later that night.
Ugh, yeah.
Dude, the mullets are running rampant.
It's not good. Yeah, there's some curly mullet going on. Not good. The guy that chomps his gum. Oh.
Yeah.
He makes my face hurt just looking at him. And then the guy named Fendi or Ferdy or whatever his name was.
Ferdy, yeah.
And they have to get him roped in because he's like his uncle or dad owns the store or whatever.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of work to do. Yeah.
No, all he wants to do is crunch numbers, but they have to get him involved so that way he doesn't tell on him.
He's the square.
Yeah, but I think his name is Ferdy. Let's just call him Nerdy.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
He's the final guy type.
That he is.
Yeah. The virgin nerd. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely not the gum chomper.
No, he's not. He's not the stupid jock. He's not the cool guy. He's the final boy. We're then introduced to Linda and Rick Stanton, who, Wes, you may remember Rick from Friday Part 2, where he played Scott.
He looked familiar.
Yeah. He played the guy that shot the rock at the girl's butt. And then he got himself caught in the snare and then was killed by Jason with the wrong side of the machete.
I did, yeah. I forgot about that fun fact.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember it very well now, and I can picture it. But did I know? I didn't do a lot of research. I didn't have time to today. I did not know that was. So thank you for that information. I like that. Now I'm into it. He's from part.
Changed your whole opinion on this movie.
Yep, if he's the guy that shot the rock at the girl's perfect butt, then let's go. Let's go.
All right. We cut back to the control room where a second technician is killed by a harpoon through the back or somewhere.
He eats the guy's donut.
And that guy is played by somebody famous, but I can't remember who he is.
Let's leave it a mystery. So we've got 2 murders already by the
robots.
By the robots. Mm-hmm. So come on.
So the mall clears out. The 4 couples, Rick, Linda, Greg, Susie, Mike, Leslie, Ferdy, and Allison. They are all still at the mall, and they start the party in a furniture store where 3 of them work. Now they're drinking beer and they're dancing terribly.
I think Barbara Crampton is the only one really selling the dance part.
And she's the worst offender. Her dance is terrible. Holy shit.
It's almost, she needs to get together with Crispin Glover from Friday Part 4.
That is the whitest dance I've ever seen.
They should dance together.
They should. That's how I would dance.
I don't think that you would do that.
No, I would. Believe me.
Okay.
Believe me. If you had seen me at some school dances, holy shit. I'm really glad cell phones didn't exist at that time.
Yeah, or any kind of footage whatsoever. I would love to see it, though. So, yeah, we got that going. And there's like this sex party, and they already have all the couples basically worked out. And then they're going to introduce Ferdy, whatever his name is, to the girl from
Allison.
The Night of the Comet. Yeah, that's all I know her from. She's kind of like the soft-spoken, kind of small, nerdy kind of girl.
As is he.
As is he. Yeah. He's also a nerdy girl.
Yep.
So they're going to have this party with these couples, and why can't if you're going to dance for 2 seconds and drink a little bit for like 10 minutes and then everybody takes their own bed or couch at this furniture store, why would you just want to be with that person at like a private location?
I don't know, dude.
What's this party all about?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh God.
Or why wouldn't you do it at home?
Do it at home.
Yeah, I really don't understand. Listen, they had access to a mall. They had to use it somehow, right? You couldn't just have the Killbots showing up at their house. I mean, you could, I guess, but they probably didn't have the money.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Like, hey, we have this mall for a few days. We have this premise for killer robots. What can we do? And this
You're thinking way too practically.
They could have done a lot of things, Wes.
Yeah, they could have. So I'm questioning it. You're right, man. I'm doing too much questioning because this sex party sounds pretty fucking stupid. And then the nerdy and the other nerdy are watching like an old horror movie while the other ones are like making whoopee on these sofas and beds that are like in the same basically vicinity in the same store.
The protectors, they leave their control room and they start their nightly patrols, and the protectors at first see them partying in the store, but they don't pay any mind to them.
No, they pay no mind.
No,
but they do. They see Dick Miller, don't they?
Eventually, all of them begin to have sex, except, like you said, for Allison and Ferdy. Sorry, they're watching Attack of the Crab Monsters. That's what they're watching. Yep. That's our next one.
And she's horrified of it.
I know. She's like, I don't know why I watch these things. It's like, ugh.
He's like, well, I've seen this one a couple of times. I should have warned you.
You warned him of what?
I don't know, that it's fucking stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this whole time that I'm watching this, I'm wondering, why didn't this multi-million-dollar security system not include anything like cameras? Something that would get them caught.
No.
Right? Not a one.
Nope.
They invested in robots. They invested in doors, but not one camera that they could go back and look and say, wow, our employees are fucking each other on the furniture.
Unimportant.
That's the only thing that kept running through my mind. What about cameras?
Nope.
But
yeah, you're thinking way too hard, man.
Fuck them. Who cares? Yes, we get to the janitor, Walter Paisley, played by the awesome Dick Miller.
He's, of course, being a youngster in the 80s, I remember him from Gremlins.
Yes, sir.
He doesn't like technology then either.
No.
He doesn't like technology in general. Now, he's been in other stuff, too. He lived to be really old. He was in a lot of horror. It
was recent he passed away. Not that long ago. Yeah.
Was he one of the COVID... Not because he died of COVID, but like because of COVID, his death was pretty much glossed over.
I don't know.
There's a lot of celebrities that died in the last 2 years that just kind of get glossed over
because of COVID. Yeah,
because of COVID. Now, if you're fucking Bob Saget or something like that, your name's gonna come, or Betty White.
Sure.
Then your name gets put out there. But like, there's a lot of people that have died that like it would have been news otherwise. But now that we're dealing with the pandemic, but that we were, their death. Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't care.
All I know is that if I ever catch the little bastards that did this, the dead meat.
But if I ever find little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Yeah, of course, dude. They're fucking dead meat.
Dude, I love Dick Miller. Yeah, he's one of those great character actors that just pops up in random shit, and you're just like, oh shit, Dick Miller.
That's him, man. And I love him too. And he always reminds me of Gremlins. And I can think of a couple other ones that he was in, but I can't think of right now. So we'll move on. But he's great. And the two guys that he was working with that have the same job as him are basically making fun of him for having to clean up the last spill of the night or something.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And I think they're like drinking like cracked beers. And...
Yeah. But the big downer of this is Dick Miller is killed just as quickly as he's introduced. It's like he only has like 5 or 10 minutes of screen time and then he's dead. Mm-hmm. It fucking sucks. When the Killbot or the Protector rolls up to Dick Miller, he knocks over his bucket of mess. And then that's when Dick Miller gets all pissed off and says, you hunk of junk. I knew you was going to be trouble. Yeah, he shoots out the electronic prongs and it lands in the puddle around his feet. He's like, what the hell was that? What is that? And then Protector lets out the electricity and fries Dick Miller, and it sucks. It
fries him up, and I think that you found your impression that you do really well. You do Dick Miller really good.
Yeah. So, it sucks, man. He comes and goes just like that, and it would have been great to see him fighting alongside the remaining kids, but nope, 'twas not to be.
'Twas not to be. You are correct. And
maybe Dick Miller was too expensive.
They only had it for one day.
Right. Yeah. Mike, you remember Mike, Mr. Mullet?
Is he the guy that chomps gum?
He might be. I don't know. But Mike...
He literally chomps gum the whole time.
Mike gets killed by Protector 1 when he leaves the store to go buy Leslie cigarettes because they used to sell those in malls.
Yeah, I guess there was there was a fucking cigarette, like a...
vending machine.
A vending machine. So... I don't understand what's going on here because he's with that girl that he was talking to the whole time, and then they're in bed and she kicks him out to go get cigarettes and she shows him her boobs and he's like, oh, I gotta hurry back, blah blah, like he's never seen him before. And he's the jock. He says, oh, I got some Camels here because someone left him in the store. And she goes, I don't smoke those. I only smoke Virgins, which I think is a Virginia Slim reference.
Yes, I think so.
Like chicks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she kicks him out of bed, shows her big areola boobs. And he's like, oh, I'll be back. And runs out there like with his pants undone. Mm-hmm. But he has his badge. So he runs out there and goes to the cigarette vending machine and starts doing whatever. And then
he gets his throat cut by the robot.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
And then Leslie goes out to find him, but she's also killed with a laser and a fucking awesome head explosion. Now the other kids see this, and then they all freak out and take off running as the Protectors are chasing after them. And they manage to get away, but the mall security system goes into effect, and they are all locked in there until like 6 a.m. the next morning, something like that, or later that morning.
That was what the narrative was, that they were going to be locked in there, like nerdy says something about like
That's the sound of us being locked in here all night.
And the guys, they break into a sporting goods store to arm themselves with guns.
it was called Peck and Paws. Do you understand the Peck and Paw part?
I don't understand that. Explain.
Sam Peckinpah was a famous director back in the days of like Roger Corman, but only Sam Peckinpah made really good movies. He made the Wild Bunch, and he made Straw Dogs, and some really gritty movies. And he was a gun nut.
Oh.
So I think that like this director was like doing a lot of homage towards other stuff, other directors and movies and stuff like that. So Sam Peckinpah is a great director. He made some really good movies. I think he ended up killing himself with a gun drunkenly one night like in Montana.
I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Oh no, that's exactly what you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Peck and Paws. And by the way, I think that Mr. Gumchomper, the jock that was buying the cigarettes at the cigarette vending machine, when he was talking to the robot, he said, "Hey, it's me, blah 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 blah," and held up his thing, his security badge. And I think what he said was something that was referenced in The Evil Dead.
Here. Klaatu, Barada, Nikto, okay?
I think that this director actually was referencing a lot of horror stuff.
I missed that then. If that's true, I totally missed it.
There has been like a lot of references so far, and plus he has Barbara Crampton in this, and other actresses and whatnot, actors.
While using a propane tank, they managed to blow up Protector 1, seemingly destroying it. And while they're doing this, the women take gasoline and flares from an automotive store.
Yeah, by the way, those are empty. They would have been empty, like the things that would have been like on display.
Oh, the gas cans, yeah.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't have helped the story, Wes.
No, it wouldn't have. And then, the girl that was in the Night of the Comet, the nerdy girl, she put a flare in her bra or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's going to save anyone's life, except for if you were on the side of a highway.
I mean, look, man, she's a survivalist. You never know what you're going to need.
And her dad's a Marine.
Yep, exactly. That's where she learned it. You're not giving this woman enough credit, Wes.
I'm not giving her any credit.
No, you're not.
Yeah. So, yeah, by the way, then the guys they got all these weapons and whatnot from Peck and Paw's sporting goods, which has a ton of fucking automatic weapons and whatnot. But the nerdy guy says, like, well, I've seen Dirty Harry like 30 times.
Something like that, yeah. 54 times or something. I know, right?
That's a lot of weapon. Yeah.
That's a lot of weapons training.
I was in the military. Guess how they taught us how to use weapons? They showed us Independence Day.
Perfect.
Yeah, but yeah, Dirty Harry. So he saw that. So that's how he knew how to use a fucking weapon.
And while the guys are setting up the elevator as a booby trap, the Killbots ambush the women and they ignite poor Susie by shooting her gasoline can.
So stupid. But hey, you know what?
Hey, whatever, man. It's about killer robots in a shopping mall. What do you want? What do you want?
Oh, I was looking for like a Schindler's List type movie.
Okay. Hey, you know what? This could possibly be the Schindler's List of bad B horror movies from the 80s.
In the mall.
In the mall.
Yeah, it's probably the Schindler's List the Schindler's List version of a mall robot killing horror movie. Yes,
yeah, the robots are the SS and the kids are the Jews.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
What, dude? You brought it up, not me.
I brought it up.
You did. Now, Greg tries to shoot all these robots unsuccessfully before Rick drags him away. We got to get the hell out of Dodge. And they regroup and they rig the elevator to trap Protector 2. They set up the propane tanks on top of the elevator and then they shoot them, which causes the elevator to drop like a rock and then it blows up the Protector.
It's kind of a cool scene.
It is. One of the cooler scenes in the movie.
Yeah, sure.
They then hide in the restaurant that Allison works in, and while they're inside, Greg confronts Allison and Linda about leaving the air ducts that they were in, and basically blames them for Susie's death.
He does. Mm-hmm. Not the thing that you want to do when you're in survival mode.
No, not really. You kind of want to stick together.
Yeah. And by the way, what's her name? The nerdy chick from Night of the Comets. Mm-hmm. She keeps saying we should go ahead and let's go ahead and separate.
Yeah, like, split up. Yeah,
I know. Who wants to fucking split up?
She keeps saying we should separate. Yeah.
Yeah. Who the?
I don't know.
Any Marine daughter would not want to do that.
Right. Exactly.
You don't split up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ferdy and nerdy. Yeah. That fucking
guy.
That's fat. That fucking All he wanted to do was crunch numbers all night.
Yeah.
And this is what he gets himself into.
Rick tries to calm him down, and Ferdy suggests destroying the Killbots' main control center in hopes of shutting them all down.
Oh, is this when he says, there's a computer control room on the 3rd floor?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, let's go fucking find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The group agrees with him, and they head to the control room on the 3rd floor, and the robot throws Greg over the railing, and then he falls to his death.
Have a nice day.
Which I figured was going to... Once his girlfriend died, I was like, well, he's going next. Especially after he becomes unhinged.
Yeah.
That's common. The crazy guy always dies.
Absolutely, and it was warranted.
Like Crazy Ralph. It took 2 movies, but he eventually died.
I was going to do an impression of him, but I can't.
On the run, the 4 remaining survivors, Allison, Ferdy, Rick, and Linda, also find the first robot recovered after its earlier defeat.
Yeah, so what the fuck, dude? They blew the fucking thing up with the propane. It like regenerated its wires together or something? I don't know what it did.
I don't know, man. It just lifted itself up and then it was on the go.
Have a nice day.
They did not do the all-important double tap on the robot.
No, we didn't learn that for a couple more, decades.
They take refuge inside a department store, and they set up mannequins to confuse Protector 1 and Protector 3, which works, because they start firing at the dummies, and then one of them blinds itself with its own reflector laser.
Oh, yeah, because that's how lasers work. Yeah, dude. So the nerdy girl who likes Ferdy... she's like, they want target practice. Let's give them target practice. And they start throwing out the mannequins or whatever. So that's what happens. And then you do see some kind of, this is back when lasers, no one understood lasers really, but not that I do.
Well, they explode heads and do all kinds of shit. Yeah.
That they fucking do.
Yeah.
But if you fire one into a mirror, it's going to, just like in Seinfeld when the guy had the laser pointer on George for the whole episode. And Jerry was like, well, what? He's like, I got these reflective sunglasses. And Jerry said, yeah, but what if the laser gets in between the sunglasses and starts to go on your retina? And George takes them off real quick and he goes, stop it.
However, the blind Protector 3 kills Linda, and an enraged Rick rams a golf cart into it. A bolt of electricity kills him, but his attempts successfully destroy the robot. See you at the crossroads, Rick, and Protector 3.
I'll see you at the crossroads. I wouldn't want to, but yeah, you are correct.
As the final robot, Protector 1, it corners Allison. Ferdy rescues her and shoots it point blank, damaging its laser just before he falls unconscious.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Despite a leg injury, Allison escapes into the paint store, sets up a trap by mixing paint and chemicals. She lures Protector 1 inside, where it gets stuck for failing to find traction on the spilled paint and thinners. She tosses a flare into the store, igniting the chemicals and finally destroying Protector 1.
Out of all the weapons in this movie, the one that doesn't make any sense is the road flare. And that's the one that she had in her bra the whole time that they made a note to know that the audience knew that she had that the whole time. And that's the one that gets results.
Really, the laser makes more sense than the road flare?
The road flare to me makes no fucking sense at all.
Okay.
It's a road flare.
Okay. See, it makes more sense to me because that's an actual thing. The fact that these robots have functioning laser beams.
I'm living in the universe of the movie.
They have Star Wars technology.
They do.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
So, but my thing, I'm just saying that why the girl that was dating, or the girl that liked the nerdy guy that was scared of the movies, that had the road flare in her bra the whole time, and that's the one weapon that gets these have a nice day things to go. Why? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Wes, sometimes the simplest solutions, my friend.
I don't need you to mansplain that. I get it. It's really fucking stupid.
It is really fucking stupid. I admit it's stupid.
But I liked it.
Of course.
And by the way, the girl did a really nice job.
She did fine, man. She did good.
Yeah, the Marine daughter did really well.
Right? All that secondhand Marine training really paid off.
Yeah, just because her dad was a Marine meant that she knew how to use a road flare to kill a fucking robot.
Right? Yep. As daylight appears, Allison leaves the store and Ferdy awakens. The two remain the only survivors. So
yeah, the final boy and the final girl.
Yep. So between the two of them, watching Dirty Harry and having a Marine for a dad saved their lives.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, exactly. In a post-credit scene, a fourth unknown protector says the catchphrase,
"Have a nice day."
One last time. And that, Wes, that's where this thing ends.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid, dude. But it's great. But it's really fucking stupid, Sean. But it's really,
dude. It's good stupid. That's just it. It's good stupid. Yeah. This isn't
a lot of these.
Yeah, this isn't stupid. This is like, this is fun. Stupid. Yeah, well, we'll save all that here in a minute. Yeah. But that's it, man. Chopping Mall. It was released in limited theaters on March 24th, 1986. It did poorly at the box office. Now,
shocking.
Right. However, it fared better when it was re-released as Chopping Mall. Because don't forget, it was originally released as Killbots.
Sure.
And this name, Chopping Mall, it was suggested by a janitor, according to my research.
Fisher Stevens. I figured that's where he got his start. I'm just saying.
You're just saying things, yeah.
I'm just saying words.
Yes. In November of 2011, Dry County Entertainment acquired the film rights and were planning a remake with a supernatural twist. The film was going to be produced and written by Kevin Bacard, directed by Robert Hall, but as of October 2021, nada. So there you go. I believe that Chopping Mall, the potential franchise, is officially dead. All right, Wes. What are your final thoughts and grading for Chopping Mall?
You know what? We do a lot of these they're really hard to like. Do you judge it on merit? Do you judge it on the quality? Do you judge it on what it went for? Do you judge it on what it is? Let's say that we'll judge it on what it really is. It's a really, really bad B movie. It might have had some influence because of the RoboCop thing that happened years afterwards. It's not a good movie. I had a good time watching it when I first watched it, like years ago. Did not have a good time watching it like soberly, like the next, like the last couple of days. But let's say I'll be kind to it. I'll give it a B because it's a fucking B movie. So, and it has a lot of references towards, other directors and horror stuff. And there's the whole Corman universe and all that stuff, the Corman verse, if you will. So yeah, I'll give it a B. It's a bad movie, and the letter B just means a lot to this movie because it's bad and it's stupid, and it can be fun if you are drinking beers while you watch it. Sean, give me your rating.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree. This thing's a solid B. Well, I'll give it a B minus. It's got some good parts. It's got mostly bad parts. I definitely appreciated the nostalgia of the mall aesthetic and experience. I like the robots. I think they're kind of cool. My guess would be they were all remote control. So the fact that they were able to do that is pretty cool. Other than that, I mean, the premise, the story, it's kind of dumb. Why are these kids in the mall drinking, having sex, doing all this stuff when another location would probably be more realistic? But that's not what they were going for. They had access to a mall. They had access to these remote control robots, and they did what they could on a Roger Corman budget. So yeah, man, good for them. Nice little fun flick. Check it out when you get a chance, if you get a chance. And yeah, man, B minus.
Have a nice day.